Welcome to your free video to help you start changing your life. Let's get right to it. You have the potential to do anything you want. I want you to know that right off the bat. The only thing holding you back is you. And that's true for you, me, everybody. That's because we've all been programmed by our family, our friends, our schools, the media, the government. We've all been programmed to have certain thoughts about who we are, how our world works, and how we fit in the world. And our thoughts define our beliefs. And those beliefs define the actions that we take. And those actions that we take, they define the outcomes of our lives or the results in our lives. And whatever results we have in our lives reinforce our basic thoughts. So if our lives are producing mediocre results or things that we're just okay with, but we're really not crazy about, then guess what? We're going to have mediocre and not so crazy about my life possibilities because our thoughts are going to be limited. But if we can change our thoughts and change our beliefs and our actions, then our results might produce some success. And that success might reinforce some thoughts that say, you know what? Bigger things are possible. And the more you get that cycle going of more success, driving more positive thoughts, driving more positive beliefs, driving more positive actions, driving more positive results, it just is a spiral up towards growth in the life that you want. But let's talk about change. People don't change without pressure. Just because you want a better life doesn't mean you're going to have one. You have to change your life a little bit, some things you do. So think about ourselves as chunks of coal. The chunks of coal are kind of valuable because we use those in power generating stations, or create heat and steam and electricity and all kinds of cool things. But coal is a pretty common thing. Now if you take a piece of coal and you put it under a lot of pressure over a long period of time, that coal turns into a diamond. Now you have something that's really valuable and it's really rare. So we can become like those diamonds. We can become very valuable and what I think is very rare in this world, because most people in the world don't think of themselves as being very successful and can't create that. But a very few people know the secrets, and you can be one of those people by just allowing yourself to go through the process. But most of us don't like pressure. And most of us are impatient and won't put up with the time it takes to have that breakthrough. And people, if they're going to change, there's only two reasons that they're going to change. One is to avoid pain, and the other one is to go toward pleasure. So we'll do almost anything to avoid pain. We have the pain in our life, that things are happening right now. Oh my gosh, we want to get away from that. But guess what? The pain of the future, not knowing what the future is going to hold, and being fearful of the unknown, and gosh, what will people think of me, and all that stuff. That's a lot of pain. So people would rather have the pain of what they have right now than the pain of what they don't know in the future. Well, what about if they're going to create a great life, the pleasure of having more money, more security, more cool things to do with your family? Well, that's really cool. You need that, but pleasure is the weaker of the two drivers of change. Pain is much more powerful than pleasure. And even though you'd think about making more money and having more time, living longer, and better relationships, that pleasure of knowing that isn't going to be enough to get past that pain of the unknown. So what are you going to do? We're going to create some positive pressure in our life. So I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil after this is done, and write down on this sheet of paper just what I have here on the screen. Write, what are the forces in my life? And then draw a line down the middle, and on the left side put forces driving me to change, and on the right side put forces causing me to resist change. And on the forces driving me to change, I want you to brainstorm as many possibilities as possible as you can possibly think of for the things that are going to drive you toward the future, the pain that you have in your life right now. Not having enough security, not having enough money to provide for your family the way you want to, not being able to take cool vacations, not living up to your expectations or that of your friends or family. Whatever those things are for you, just brainstorm as many as you possibly can. On the other side, I want you to brainstorm the forces causing you to resist change. So those are the things that fear the future. So that pain of the unknown. Gosh, what happens if I fail? I don't really know if I know enough to make this happen. What will my friends say? What will my family say? What risk am I putting out there for my financial stability that I have right now? Whatever it is for you, just brainstorm as many possibilities as you possibly can. When you get all done with those two lists, I want you to go over to your forces driving for change. And remember, pain is a big motivator. I want you to really amplify those things, get emotional about those, about how can you make those more emotionally charged. So security for your family, make it so dramatic that, gosh, you know, if I don't change, I could lose my house. That's a pretty big force for change. If I don't make a lot more money, then I won't be able to have my kids go to college. So really create some emotion around those. And then go over to the other side, the forces causing you to resist change, and I want you to start making those weaker. So if one of your fears was, I don't really know enough to do this new business I want to go into, well, then go out and take a class to learn some things, learn some knowledge and skills that can help weaken that. Once you start learning some things, you'll realize, oh, this isn't so fearful after all. What will my friends say about me? Well, gosh, talk to your friends and tell them about some cool ideas you have, and maybe you'll realize that might be more supportive of you. So make the forces driving for change more powerful and weaken the forces that are resisting change. And then go through and answer these questions. Just fill in the blanks. It's about your life right now. I feel about my life. Fill in the blank. I feel about what I do for a living. I am passionate about what, because what. For me, I am passionate about helping other people find that magic inside of themselves that creates better lives for them, because I love to see those happy faces, and it's very gratifying for me to see other people just exploding with success. Next one is, I feel what about what I do to make money. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Indifferent about it? My relationships are what because I what for the last 5 years. My relationships are great because I have all kinds of time and energy and money to spend on them for the last 5 years. Or maybe my relationships are pretty crappy because I've been just too focused on trying to survive for the last 5 years. So fill those in. Now let's talk about your desired future. Fill these in. If I knew I could not fail, I would what? I could really make a difference if I what? For me, I could really make a difference if I could reach hundreds of thousands of people and give them the tools and secrets they need to create a better life that they know they can have. What is it for you? I am passionate about what? Because why? I would feel what about making money doing what? This is all designed to help you start getting a feel for what you should be doing in your life if you're not already doing it. Then talk about your relationships. My relationships would be what if I were blank for a living? And I would love to do what for a living? Now let's do a to-do list for your desired future. Fill in the blanks. I would need to change my thoughts about what to have the life I want. About me, about life, about possibilities, about success, about money. I would need to learn what to have the life I want. You have to learn some things. I would need to act like to have the life I want. Act like it makes a difference, like you can do it. What is it? I would need to meet who to help me have the life I want. Need to meet a mentor, somebody who's already been on that path before, can show you how to do it. I need to help who to have the life I want. If you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. Brian Tracy had that right on. I would need to invest what to have the life I want. You need to invest time, money, resources, effort. You have to invest all those things to have what you want. What are you willing to do? What do you need to do? But it's up to you. Your life is completely in your hands. You know, other people, now they have what you want. And many of them started with a lot less than you have right now. Everything you need is already inside you. Get the help. Make a commitment to become a lifelong learner and get the life you deserve. And we can help. We're going to send you some more tips and tools and techniques over the next weeks and months. But for some of you, you want faster results, click the link below that says, I am ready to have the life I really want now. Because we have an 8-week online home study course that can really help you make a jump start on your successful life. Help you figure out just what you should be doing, put a plan together about where you're going, and then some action steps to really get there. So thanks. Do this homework. Take out a piece of paper and finish this up right now, tonight. Spend the time on it right now. Invest in yourself. Thanks, and get to work.